Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty. It's just a thing of beauty.
Hey everyone, it's Larilyn. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am working on tissue fitting. So what is tissue fitting? For those of you that are new to the channel, I think I have a couple of other videos on the channel that shows the fitting of a jacket. And I think it was a McCall's pattern. I'm not quite sure, but I did a live on tissue fitting and I also posted it to the regular playlist as well. So check that out. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. For those that are new, this pattern today, it's actually a self-drafted pattern of just a straight skirt. So I've done several other videos on the channel of sewing skirts, how I put them together. So this video is not about that. It's actually just taking the pre-drafted pattern that's already completed here and showing how I use my dress form when I'm doing a remote project, a remote sewing project for someone who's not physically here. So what you'll need for this will basically be your pattern and your dress form set to the measurements of yourself or your client, as well as the pattern. So this is the front pattern I'll be starting with, and I have my center front marked that you can actually see here. I already have my darts closed, and I'm going to line the center front up with the center front of my dress form, and I'm just going to drop a pin here. And I've used about 5/8 of an inch of a seam allowance. Usually with remote sewing, I'm making something for someone else and I can't really do multiple fittings. I usually add about 1 inch of a seam allowance just to make sure. But this one I'm pretty comfortable with measurements. So I've gone with the 5/8 of an inch just to allow extra room instead of my typical 1/2 inch on my patterns. I've done 5/8. So I'm going to line this up here on the side seam, drop a pin, and I'm going to come up to the hip line here. I'm going to put a pin right along there as well. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my back pattern, and I have center back and side seam. So I want to turn that backwards, of course, to line up my side seams. I'm going to overlap my seam allowances here. And drop a pin. Sometimes it feels like you need more than just the 2 hands, right? And I'm going to line up my hip line that you saw drawn in on both of those patterns. Okay, and as I turn my dress form, I'm going to shoot for the center back of the pattern to line up with the center back of my dress form. And it lines up pretty much perfectly there. So I'm going to drop a pin there as well. I'll probably just put one right here too. I also like to not pull it too tight because I want to leave enough ease there to determine fitting. Well, this one's kind of written up a little bit, so let me move that down. Line that up here. Line that up. And then I take a pin to try to line up the bottom where I actually have the hems. And I want to make sure my hems are nice and straight. Now back here, you want to try to check to make sure everything is still aligned nice and neat. So that kind of wrote up a little bit. So I want to line that up with my center line of the center back and drop a pin. And as you can see, I've got, quite a bit of ease there. Nothing is too tight against the body. Of course, if there's a little extra junk in the trunk, you want to allow for more ease back there as well. But it's fitted nicely along the waistline here. And of course, this is paper. It's not forgiving, just like my fabrics. I'm not terribly concerned about that. My side seam is nice and straight. The darts are nice and straight. And my center front is nice and straight. And basically for tissue fitting, it's just to check the dimensions of your pattern against the dimensions of the dress form, again for yourself or your client. So very quickly, you're able to take a quick assessment without having the live person here or yourself. You can just set your dress form to those measurements, check the status of the pattern before you sew a mock-up to see if it works. And if you have to do the adjustments, you can do that basically from what you visualize here. So that's tissue fitting in a nutshell. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help me grow this small YouTube channel. Have a great day, guys. Lara Lynn, House of Akoti Design. Bye.